Hello, everyone, and welcome back to season 2 of Candid with Claudia. We are so excited to be back. We have an amazing season ahead planned for all of you, and we are kicking it off with Hunter. Hunter, welcome.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you. I have not seen you in a very, very long time. So for the audience, if you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to storm into some conversations. And then before we storm into the conversations, after you introduce yourself, I'm going to inform the audience a little bit about cross generations and the generations itself. So before we get into that, I want Hunter to introduce herself, and then we'll take it from there.
Hi, I'm Hunter. I'm a millennial and I'm a social media influencer. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here today. It's great to have you. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the influence that you have on social media and how that could really provide some words of wisdom for the generations that are coming up, like Z and Alpha, who really aspire and inspire and want to be that influencer online. But before we get to that, we are going to talk a little bit about generations. Do we know our generations? So last couple of days, we've been doing polls, and we realized that when we were asking, people didn't know what generation they were, what generation their parents were. So a little info for you, because guess what? At the end of this, we're going to do a little trivia. I'm just kidding. Okay.
I'm like, oh, wait.
All right, for the audience, let's talk a little bit about generations, because in season 2, we are going to have a cross-generational conversation. We're going to hear stories that we hope are going to inspire you. And it doesn't matter what generation they come from. What matters is that whatever story you hear is going to spark and ignite you. So let's start with the first one. The silent generation. That's my parents. They were born before 1946. Some of them are still serving on boards, but you know what? They are shaped by duty and discipline. Then we're going to move to the baby boomers. The baby boomers were born from 1946 to 1964. They value stability, loyalty, and legacy. Gen X, of course, if everybody did not know, is definitely the best generation. That is my generation. 1965 to 1980, we are independent, pragmatic, and we are focused.
They all say that.
Right? Wait until you hear the rest. Millennials. Millennials are 1981 to 1996. They are purpose-driven, they are collaborative, and they are growth-oriented. Then we move to Gen Z, 1997 to 2012. They're inclusive and they're tech savvy, of course, and they value transparency. Then we're going to go to Gen Alpha, anyone born after 2012. This is the emerging workforce who, of course, are digital first, they're fast learners, and they have an entrepreneurial spirit already. So that's a little bit about all of the generations. We felt this was really important because not only on this episode, but in all the ones that are coming, we're going to have guests from all walks of life really talking about their possibility that they have made a reality. And again, to ignite a spark in one of you so that you can make your possibility a reality. But we're going to go back to Hunter right now, and we're going to dive right into some questions. You ready? Yeah. We're going to have some fun. All right. Why don't we talk about a little bit about what has been challenging? You know, when we look at models like you and online, it seems glamorous, full of lights. But talk to us a little bit about what is that challenge in fashion and modeling? Give us the truth.
So
give us the truth.
That's the outside. Yes. You know, like that's what we project and that's what we're supposed to show. And it does have its glamorous side, of course, like you're getting your hair and your makeup done and, you know, it has its moments, but it's very hard work. It's long days. It's long nights. It's early mornings, 3 a.m. calls, hard diets. Mm-hmm. Not hard diets per se, but like hard workout routines, because I don't really believe in like dieting per se. Mm-hmm. I believe in like more healthy living and working out.
And I can see that on your Instagram. There's a lot of healthy eating and it's about good habits, right? It's about good habits.
It's exactly.
But you have to really stick to those habits, whereas opposed to I don't have to really stick to them, right? I can kind of like, you know, cheat. So you don't have a lot of cheat sheets of
No, I like a lot of like holistic things like, and like eating a lot of natural, eating a lot of protein, eating enough vegetables that have, eating the right vegetables and the right fruits that have benefits,
The benefits
to your skin and to your
well,
body.
it shows.
And to,
Yeah, it shows.
I'm
But I
sure
have
you
a
do.
question. So that is not easy because it's not only a discipline that you have to be consistent with, but it becomes a way of life. So some of us
Yeah.
diet and it becomes fads, or we trend, okay, we're going to be on this diet for 30 days, but it's a way of life, right? So that's what's different, I think, for modeling. And
I
fashion.
think it's, for me, it became more like, instead of it being a diet, it became like more of an interest of nutrition, of wanting
That's a good way to look at it, yeah.
to be healthier
Yeah.
in general.
So what from this experience have you taken, and do you think has really shaped and molded you? Do you think that because it's a way of life that you've had to have, that you've taken a personal interest, and that's just how you really eat all the time and how you have to?
I think it also comes from my family. My family is, my brother's diabetic. And he was diagnosed very young. And so my mom had a nutritionist in the house very young for us. Like,
Talk to us a little bit about childhood, since we're right there with your brother. You're from?
My mom is half Honduran, half French.
Okay.
And my dad is American,
Okay.
from New York.
Okay. So did you live in
Jewish.
Honduras? Were you born here? Were born in Honduras?
I was born in New York.
Okay.
They met in college. I was born in New York.
Okay.
And then when I was like a baby, like a few months old, they moved to Miami, and I basically grew up here. So
Okay. Do you love Miami?
I have to.
Or do you love
course.
New York?
I love them both.
But wait, you go to France a lot.
Differently. I do.
Okay.
I do. I recently, I'm starting to decide if I'm moving
Oh, wow.
there.
Are we the first to find this out?
Possibly. Maybe. Very few people know, yeah. But I've been there recently.
Well, after this, everyone is going to know that you're it's going to become breaking news now.
Yeah. So I've been traveling there. Sorry. I've been traveling there
Very
a lot.
nice.
And
Do you love it there?
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
hard because of the language, but I'm determined to learn.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay. Very nice. Okay. Can you think back and reflect back to you growing up as a model, and you started very young? I think you said you were something in a baby commercial or a baby magazine. You know, again, we all look at it as glamorous, but the reality it takes work. It's a job, right? I think a lot of us think that everything is overnight, but it's not. It's over time, and it's hard. So what moment do you remember, or can you walk us through that really kind of push it to the limit, or like, I don't want to do this, or like, no, I'm going to get through this. This is a setback, but I'm going to push and move forward because that's where I am going to get to my reality that I want to make happen.
I kind of have both.
Okay.
So I remember, my first catalog, my mom modeled.
So it's in your DNA.
She didn't pursue it as much as she should have. She was like, I mean, she still is, but I mean, her at 25 was unreal, like absolutely gorgeous. Still very gorgeous, but 25 is she's different. And she became a mom very young, and she kind of like pushed it onto me, I guess, and like she bought like a camera, and she would take pictures of me.
Now, what generation is your mom?
She was born in 67.
Okay, she's Gen X like me.
Yeah.
She's a Gen Xer.
So, that was like
Yeah.
what we did. Like we would go outings, and the camera was always there.
Yeah.
And we would take pictures. Whatever I was wearing, she would dress me up all the time like a doll, and we just took pictures all the time.
Did you love that? Or there was a part of you?
It was just like normal to me. I didn't think there was a difference. I didn't.
Do you resent that, or do you love that, or did that help shape you become
I didn't think
ready for camera?
I really didn't think anything of it. I just kind of was like,
okay.
For a second, I was like I'd be annoyed, and she'd be like, listen, like, we're going to sit here and we're going to take the picture. So do you want to come out crying in the picture, or do you want to come out smiling in the picture? And I'd be like, okay. And I'd smile, and we'd take the picture, and then I'd be happy to see the picture later. So basically, I had my first, what's it called? Like catalog, baby catalog.
Casting?
A catalog. I got the catalog and I modeled for a clothing brand at 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
Okay, wow. Did that push it to your limit, or I mean, you're 3 years old. I mean, so this is not only in your DNA. I mean, I don't think it's pushed you to the limit. This is what you've been born into, and you're just
yeah.
So you don't know any other way to go.
I liked it.
You liked it.
I liked it. I really did. I was grateful that my mom did that because it prepared me for like future stuff. And now that I'm like older, I'm like, oh, you're right with that.
So that's what you take away with you.
It's good advice, absolutely. Yeah. But there was a point where I was like 13, 12, where you're like at that age that you're rebellious. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Mom, no more pictures.
Yeah.
And so I stopped for a bit, which I kind of regret now. Because if I would have continued.
Oh, that's why you say you have like both. Okay.
Maybe I could have done something a little more, maybe.
But, at the end of the day, I do believe parents do know best, right? I mean, at the moment it's hard, and I'm going to share something that I don't think I've really shared really often. My immediate family will know this, but when I was really young, my mom put me in a modeling class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, what am I doing here? I'm sort of like fat. Like, what's up with that? Like, what am I doing? But it's really ironic that she must have seen something that I never saw, and I remember going briefly, and it was in Coral Gables somewhere. It was so many years ago. But you know what? I wasn't Hunter. I was more like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to listen to the way you have to walk. I didn't do that. So now I ask myself, I wonder how my life could have evolved and differently if I probably would have taken those classes seriously. Shouldn't have stopped paying for it, and I stopped going because she realized, I was eating what I wanted. I did whatever I want. But I would love to be able to ask my mother today, what did you see that I didn't see? Because clearly, look at me today. I mean, I wanted to, I don't know.
You could have done it.
It was really weird.
Absolutely could have.
It was really weird, but
she has that personality and that.
She must have seen it. I don't know if she saw it, or I don't know if maybe it was a dream she wanted to do that she didn't live, because parents do that, right? So I don't have the answer to that.
So that's kind of what I think, but I also loved it. So it became like kind of like our dream together, and we like bonded over that, I think.
Yeah. That's probably why I admire all your pictures. I'm like, oh. All right. So when you think of fashion and beauty, we've talked a little bit about how tough it can be, but let's talk about how great is it? Like, what have you enjoyed? What do you love about it?
Fashion and beauty, that you can just be yourself.
Okay, you think?
You know what I mean? Like, you can dress however you want.
Do you really think models can really be themselves? I mean,
I think the industry's changing.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. Okay.
Finally, I think it's time.
Okay.
In certain ways.
You think that's because of the influence of social media?
Probably. But I think everything in general has its impact.
Yeah.
And I think they have to be more inclusive, and they kind of like got the hint finally.
Yeah, because, again, I remember growing up, and I didn't grow up with social media, and everything I did in my 20s, no one can Google, which is a fabulous thing. But anyway, now it's more of like, we're just going to leave that right there. But yes, it's very good. So I'm going to say this politically correct, but it's kind of like, it's okay to not be thin now, right? Like, there's an acceptance of your body that I think it came from social media. But it wasn't like that before. You had to look like, oh, I'm really going to age myself when I say Bo Derek. Oh my Lord. But you had to be perfect. Cindy Crawford and all of those that was perfection, right? And that was beauty. But I see how much it's changed where plus size is accepted. But I do think that social media had something to do with it. And I do believe people becoming vocal. Yeah.
I agree. But I don't even, I think that they say it's accepted. I don't think it's fully accepted yet. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's a change that millennials did or social media did? Because it could have been a little bit of everything, huh?
It could have been mixed.
Even Gen Zers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a thing for a while, probably. Still.
I think so.
For me, my struggles in modeling was always that I was petite. I'm not regular height.
And I'm going to, you know what, if you allow me, I'm going to touch on that a little bit. Absolutely. Because I do believe that there's something to be said about natural beauty. We do live at a time where natural beauty is not the norm, right? I mean, we have the flexibility to go to Colombia or go to Brazil. Actually, now I think now the big thing is Turkey, where they go there and they get themselves completely redone. So, but there's something to be said to like you, and I'm going to use Kendall. I think what her name is, Kendall Jenner, as an example, right? Who like has never done really anything to herself, and how respectable is that? That you are in an arena of women who look borderline perfect. Not that you don't, because you look pretty perfect to me, but they're like overly perfect, right, with everything.
Absolutely.
And you've kept yourself natural. I applaud you for that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So I don't think you are too petite. I think you're perfect, and I think that's very natural. That's great.
That's not what that industry looks for, though.
Not anymore, right? Yeah.
For a long time, they never did.
Yeah.
They looked for 6 foot. Somebody described it, a casting agent described it to me once as a coat hanger.
Interesting.
A walking coat hanger.
Interesting.
It doesn't matter. You have to have like a washed out look that kind of looks the same as everything else.
Well, you could see that on the runway.
And a walking coat hanger on the runway. That's what they're looking for. And I was like, that's when it kind of clicked for me. And I was like, a walking coat hanger. And that for images, portrait photography,
portraits,
image, like pictures photography, like ads and things like that they make. They use, that's when they look for more faces that are either recognized or pretty or whatever. So that's the kind of modeling that I would be used to.
Well, on that note, what is one lesson from this journey that you have been able to use as a guide that now that you are, I believe from what I understood in the beginning, you're in a phase where you're looking at whether you want to go into production, whether you want to have your own agency, continue modeling. What is one thing that you can use, one discipline that you take out that keeps you, looking like you and not giving in to the surgeries or not giving in to being a certain way? You're still Hunter, you still want to stay a certain way. What do you use as guiding you at your journey as you still continue?
I think you have to focus on not just outer beauty, but like inner beauty.
Yes.
Taking care of yourself, eating healthy, exercising, living a healthy lifestyle, loving yourself, people surrounding you that's like good energy. I think if you're happy, that's the prettiest. There's that
it
quote,
resonates.
There's that quote that's like, happiest girls are the prettiest girls.
Yes.
And I absolutely agree with that 100%. Because
is Hunter happy right now? Because you're glowing.
Yes, I am very happy.
Good. Well, I believe we all weather storms. Yes. I have had my storms in our weather, but the show is not about me today. But I feel great, and I feel blessed to be able to provide this space and have great stories like yours come on and really empower and motivate someone listening.
I'm super happy to be.
So let's talk about, we've been talking a lot about generations, and I own a school. When I'm not Candid with Claudia, I own a school. So I work with a lot of Gen Zers, and my school is comprised of a lot of Gen Alphas, and they just think everything is easy. They just think, it's really funny. We were interviewing them, and one of them said, "Oh, I want to be 50 and retired." I wanted to say, you do know that when you're 50, you're probably not going to be retired, but okay, But so my question to you right now is, a lot of people think success happens overnight, especially that younger generation. And so how is your discipline helped you get through those really tough times? And what would you tell, them listening to us today about success?
Well, you're not going to be retired by 50. I'm sorry. Very sorry. It sucks, but I'm really sorry.
Unless you win the lottery, right?
Maybe is that a generational question, you think? Like a generational answer or an age answer?
You know what? That's a great question. I want to say generational. However, you know what the interesting thing about generation is that, so for example, boomer. Not boomer, Generation X, that's 1965 to 1980, right? But what happens is that while you're in that generational stage, like I am X, you eventually grow. So when I was 20, 30, and 40, and 50, well, I'm not 50. Who said I was 50? Because I was born 1980. But anyway, the point is that, you do evolve. you do grow within your own generation,
Right, so
because
you kind of learn.
you learn. There's still traits that are genuinely who you are, and that's just your generation and what you're accustomed and how you were raised. But I do believe it's a generational question, because I think it's the alphas. I think no, it's the alphas and the Gen Zers that are coming up right now, and they're the ones that are really going to be in the workforce
That's
as
crazy.
the boomers and the Gen Xers sort of
Yeah, you're
go to that
right.
direction.
That's our next.
That's
Yeah.
the next workforce coming forward, and so this conversation is really for them, because I will tell you, which really leads me to my next question, and that is, when I was growing up as a Gen X, being raised by the silent generation, I remember being in school to some extent, and none of us wanted to be a model or a content creator or an influencer. I mean, that didn't even exist,
didn't
right? We kind of wanted to be like maybe like your mother, like your father, an entrepreneur, maybe a homemaker like my mother was, or your parents owned the flower shop, or you want to be a teacher, maybe a lawyer and doctor if you wanted to be maybe the first generation in your home. But when you ask a lot of the kids of today, they want to be Mr. Beast from YouTube, right? Or they want to be a millennial influencer because they see somebody as gorgeous as you, and it's like, how do I get there? So what kind of advice can we give to these kids, the Alpha and the Gen Z, that you say, it's still, hey, you can still be me, but this is going to take work.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not going to be like, oh yeah, you're going to gain 50,000 followers and you're going to be famous. It's not going to happen. That doesn't work that way.
It's absolutely not as easy as it seems. Like I said, like social media is, you see the best parts of it, but you don't really see behind the scenes.
No.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of, not just hours. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. Mm-hmm. It's not just what you see taped, like the video aspect that you actually filmed. It's also the editing behind the scenes. It's the time taken and dedicated to make it like absolutely perfect, a time with the music, with lights, with editing, with everything. It's a lot of work, just like a regular job.
And and the thing is that that's only one component, because to be of your stature, it's not just the editing and all that. It's the life you have to live. Yeah. Like it's what if you drinking, smoking, food, all that affects your skin.
That's a whole nother
so
thing,
you can't even have that lifestyle, because if you want to be in front of the camera and look absolutely fabulous and impeccable like you can't have that sort of sloppy lifestyle. You have to be disciplined. And you have to be consistent.
Well, that goes back into the health, the healthy lifestyle, the living well. And one of the questions you asked me earlier was my answer. Like 100%. You have to take care of yourself from the inside out, and that's what I think I've done pretty well.
Yeah, you've done very well. All right, as a millennial, how do you think you all are impacting fashion and the culture today? I think we talked about that a little bit, but we'll talk about a little bit more.
I think it goes back and forth. I think they influence us a little bit. Like, I think we all kind of, because they're kind of going, how like everything goes around and comes around?
Yes.
I think that's kind of what's happening.
The trends, absolutely.
Like Juicy Couture is coming back, for example, like the sweatsuits. And I already did that.
Interesting.
And I'm like,
what other trends are coming out that we don't know about? Because you just got back from France. Tell us. What color should I have to get ready for spring?
I feel like they're going backwards. I'm just like curious. I'm really confused. Like, I'm like, they're in juicy sweatpants. I'm like, what?
Interesting. Really?
They wear a lot of just simple things, to be honest.
But don't you find that happening with fashion, though?
Yes.
Where, like, it's almost like...
Simplicity is...
Simplicity. But wait, some is simplicity, and then for others, the messier you look, the better you look. What's up with that? I mean, but I'm a grunge girl. I love the 90s.
You either pull it off or you don't. I do too sometimes.
I love grunge.
We've seen each other like that.
Yeah, I like grunge. Yeah. I love my 90s look every once in a while.
Always my band t-shirt.
Yes. So anything coming up that we need to know about in terms of fashion that you saw when you were in France recently?
It's very preppy, I feel like. And it's very much...
I did see that.
It's very. I feel like it's very much dependent on what the younger generation is wearing. I feel like the older generation. So you think that
Gen Z are influencing the style and the trend?
A little bit.
Stop it.
I think we're trying to look, or like that generation's trying to look a little younger, and they're trying to look a little older.
Well, I've heard that. I've heard that Gen Z is living too fast in their speed and they want to be older. And so they look older and they dress a little older. So maybe that's where the trend is coming from because
makeup, hair, the way they go out, the heels, everything. It's crazy.
they're bringing the heels back. So no more sneakers. I love sneakers.
It's sad.
All right.
I know I love wearing sneakers.
I love sneakers. But listen, so many young girls out there. So many young girls out there. So many in my school that will be watching this. What advice, what golden nugget do you want to give them?
To just always love themselves.
That's hard though.
It is hard, but you know, like you have to find a place to accept yourself and love yourself no matter what. You know, like if there's something that makes you happy, do that. If there's some person that makes you happy, surround yourself with supportive people.
Let's stop right there real quick because that's really good. Finding somebody that makes you happy.
Let's
not settle. Yeah, don't settle. I find that Gen Zers are like, which is not a bad thing because we can talk about Charlie Kirk for a second because that's not a bad thing. Settling young and starting a family, I'm not. No, but yeah. I think if you have to really choose the right partner, right? And really be mindful and be intentional about the partner that you choose because
Absolutely.
I do see that it works out for some and it works out for a lot, but then if you know, right? And if you don't know, then watch the signs.
Yeah, you gotta be careful because it's not like you're starting nothing with somebody. Like you're starting people. Like you're starting humans. You're starting a family. You gotta be careful.
And it has to be great in the beginning. If it's not great, I heard that a lot. Oh, well, you know, I'm like, no, it's not going to get better when you get married. If they're not respecting you now and treating you your worth now, they're not going to do it afterwards. Why would they? You've set the trend that it's okay for them to treat you that way. No, so
that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, that they set the tone for how they're allowed to be treated.
100%.
You know, and you have to, that goes back to valuing yourself.
Well, so what can we tell the girls who don't see their value in themselves, that maybe they have a sense of insecurity?
I think everybody has a little bit of that. So you just kind of have to like, you know, look at yourself and just understand that everyone, like, honestly, nobody sees your insecurities but yourself.
Stop right there because that is 100% true.
Nobody's looking at
100%
your hairstyle or that one toe or like
we are our worst critic and we are our toughest critic. Yeah,
we're our worst critic and your mind plays games on you.
Yes.
So that's very important to remember.
So you just said something that I'm going to tap into if you don't mind. It's before I go to close to the last question, and that is mental health. So how does I would believe in the industry you get a lot of insecurities, but mental health plays such a role in your ability to move forward. If you don't have that fortitude or if you don't have the mental fitness, what are some of the things that you've had to work through that you think would be a golden nugget to a young girl? You know, in your case, you know, you don't have body shame, right? You're not overweight like that. But what are some of the tips that you can give to really combat or gain mental fortitude?
I mean, even though I haven't had it personally about body and things like that, I have made model friends over the years that I've worked with, and I've helped them through theirs. And I've lived close. That's made me younger, question my own even. So we all I don't know if we all, but I think it makes you kind of question that. And I don't know if it's a girl thing. Maybe it could be. I think it's also a boy thing. I don't think we should say it's just a girl thing.
Girls, yeah.
But it's hard. But beauty comes in all shapes and sizes and colors and
it's really great. I think we do see that a little more accepting now than it was before, but there's still that sense of insecurity.
I think back then it was a little harder to grow up thinking like, oh, I can be a model, you know, because it was like the standard was way different than today.
Than it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work on that a lot with the girls at the school to really kind of empower them to just love who you are, what you are, and be really
That's very
intentional.
important.
It doesn't matter. And you're right. I shouldn't just focus it on just the girls. It's really could be a cultural thing too, though. Yeah, besides the generation, it could be a cultural thing as well.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
So before I go to your last question, and we're gonna have some trivia. Okay. So a girl looks at you, a boy looks at you, from the younger generation, and they see success. What are some steps or tips that you want to leave your audience with how they can achieve the success that they see in you? From modeling to influencer to beauty, to put all that together, like just a couple of nuggets that you want to leave to them.
Persistence.
That's a good one.
Be super persistent. Like just post, just keep posting, even if nobody's looking, nobody's watching, nobody's liking, just keep posting, because you never know what's going to actually hit one day. And I've seen so many people give up and so many people not give up and get there one day out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's happened, you can search so many stories of people that it's happened to. Persistence, believing in yourself, trusting the process and timing of everything.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Ready for some trivia?
Yes.
Oh, let's have some. All right,
go.
here we go. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to have some trivia. Now,
I'm going to grab
I
cards
just
so
want
they
you
don't
to
see me.
know that if you're wrong, it's going to go. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to read something to you, and I'm going to ask you, is that a Gen Z or is that a millennial? Are you ready? Okay. Communication preferences. Is this a millennial or Gen Z? I'm going to read two, so don't answer yet. Prefers communication through social media, text, and emails, often valuing visual platforms like Instagram. Wait. Or favor more instant communications such as Snapchat and TikTok, and often uses memes and short videos to communicate. Which is a millennial, the first one or the second one?
I feel like probably the first one would be millennial.
Thumbs up.
Yeah?
Yes, it
Okay,
is. You're
I was
good.
like-
You're good. Okay, one more.
I'm like, how would I respond? I'm like text message.
You
if
did
anything.
good,
Don't call
you
me
did
though.
All right, hold on. Okay, this is a good one. No. Let's put it something fun. Okay, work values. Values flexibility, meaningful work, and opportunities for personal and professional development. That's one. Or prioritizes job security, financial stability, and a clear work-life balance, often leaning towards entrepreneurial ventures. Which one is a millennial? I'm going to read it again.
I feel like the correct answer would probably be like the last one that you said, to be millennials. But I feel like millennials are very lazy, to be honest.
So you think it's the first one?
I don't know.
Because you said the correct one.
I think it's the last one is the correct answer.
But there's a but coming.
I just don't think that they're that driven. In general,
Well, because guess what?
it's wrong.
That's the wrong answer.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So millennials value flexibility, meaningful work, and opportunities for personal and professional
They want
development.
to work from home in their pajama pants. They want to stay in COVID.
Yeah, they're in COVID era. Yeah. Gen Z prioritize job security, financial stability, and a clear work-life balance, often leaning towards entrepreneurial ventures. Okay, we're going to do one
Makes
more.
sense.
Yeah.
My brother's like that.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to read something. I'm going to ask you, is it a Gen Z? Is it a millennial? Or is it a Gen X? Oh, I'm going to really test you. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
Gen Z, millennial, Gen X. Okay.
Okay. Gen X is my generation, millennial, and then Gen Z is watching us right now. Okay. One of them is watching us right now. Okay. Okay. Research suggests that blank have a high entrepreneurial spirit, with about 54% expressing a desire to start their own business. This generation has been significantly influenced by technology, making entrepreneurship more accessible.
I think that's millennials,
There
right? For sure. Yeah.
Thumbs up. Good job.
We decided we figured out how to work
Yeah.
from the internet.
Yeah. You did
sure.
you did good on that one. Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
Any
wow,
lasting
I'm
words you
glad.
want to leave to all of our audience watching today?
No, thank you so. I mean, I don't know.
No,
Thank you
you're
so
good.
much.
You were
Thank
great. You
so
were great.
much for having me. I'm always happy to be with you. You know that.
No, thank you so much for joining us today. I think this is fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of season 2 of Candid with Claudia. Now follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you soon. And I didn't turn away. Cheers. All right,